Hello and welcome back to Football 301. I'm your host, Nate Tice. We are here to recap week 3, that fun slate of games that happened. Witching hour felt like it came and went a few times today. Well, some peaks and valleys throughout the day, in the morning or in the afternoon, or the early afternoon and the late afternoon if you're on the East Coast or even Central Time. But it was a great day of games. We are here to recap them. We're here to do ups and downs, highs and lows. And to help me do that, like every Sunday show after this great slate of NFL games, is my guy, Mr. Forverts, Charles McDonald. How do you doing today, Chuck? Hopefully you didn't watch your team
Um,
today.
I turned that game off in the third quarter. I will say that.
Fair.
I still have no visual proof that Kirk Cousins stepped on a football field today, and I'm going to try to keep it that way as long as possible. But other than that, it was a pretty fun Sunday. You know, I had a good time once I cut that game off and got to focus on some of the games that were close. We had a good witching hour, hilarious ending the Rams Eagles. I mean, kind of got a lot today because we have these days like where people look at the schedule and be like, oh man, this looks awful. Like, no, no, no. There's always
Nope.
there's parity legislated into the sport. Every Sunday is going to be good. So you might as well just lock in. And
Everyone.
today was another good one.
And even the games that look like they're about to be blowouts turn into very entertaining affairs, and especially just because special teams felt extra special today for a lot of teams and swung a lot of games. And there's a lot of return scores. I'm sure a lot of fantasy owners are happy or cursing their luck, but we will talk about all of that. Also, it was pretty fun to see Fernando Mendoza kind of kick off the weekend for me after we touted him on Thursday. So I was like, oh yeah, okay, good. Okay, that was nice. Thank you for not embarrassing me. But before we jump into our highs and lows, check us out on the Yahoo Sports Network, our brand new streaming TV channel. The Yahoo Sports Network is available to stream on leading fast services or on yahoosports.tv. So make sure to check out the Yahoo Sports Network. And now for the main event of our recap shows, taking you through the ups and downs of week 3 with 3 highs, 3 lows. High number 1. This was a big man rolling today. I was calling him contract year, Jordan Davis, but now he's extension eligible. I'm sorry, Jordan Davis. The Eagles block a final field goal attempt from the Rams, amongst other catastrophes for Los Angeles on special teams today, to win the game and complete a huge comeback, 33-26 in Philadelphia. A pretty entertaining game, and a game that felt like it was segmented about who had the flow of it throughout. But yeah, Jordan Davis, huge game, had a huge TFL and short yardage, which I thought Greg Olsen did a great job of explaining that the Rams should KYP, aka know your personnel, especially when you have a backup guard in there against Jalen Carter and Jordan Davis. He also ran down Matthew Stafford for a 0-yard sack, which was probably the most entertaining race of the weekend. And then he had the block, returned the block field goal. He reached a top speed of 18.59 miles an hour. Jordan Davis is listed at 330. I'd reckon he's Snorlax size, about 350, 360. And that's slim Jordan Davis right now. That was the fastest speed reached by an NFL player weighing over 330 pounds since at least 2017. All right, Chuck, where to start with this game? Rams were in control in the first half. Eagles just found their explosive passing game and it helped them out. But what captured your attention with this game?
I thought this game was over after the first half, because you just usually don't see teams like bounce back when you're that bad on offense. The first half, the Eagles, they ran 22 plays for 33 yards, 1.5 yards per play, minus or negative or minus 0.01 net yards per pass attempt. I mean, it was a total disaster. They had a 9.1% success rate on dropback success rate in the first half, and they punted on 83% of their drives. So I was really stunned when they started to come back in the second half, because even to come out of the break, the Rams, they scored a touchdown right out of coming out of halftime, and it felt like that might have been a little bit too much, and they were able to kind of swing their way back into. I mean, it was kind of weird because Hurts had a really bad first half where he wasn't seeing the field well. Wasn't seem like he was throwing on time. Seemed like he was holding on the ball too long. And then in the second half, I think he just kind of just started throwing it more, because like that's what's kind of frustrating about this Eagles tape. Like when he has these bad games, there's always stuff open downfield. Like as much as people want to complain that, oh, all of a sudden AJ Brown and Devonta Smith aren't getting open. Like, come on now, that's not true. He's like, you just gotta pull the trigger a little bit faster. And today he did. Both those guys had a huge second half. and pulled them across at the finish line. And then the ultimate bad beat for people who had Rams plus
Oh,
3.5 at the end. Jordan Davis,
I'm so
because
happy I'm not a gambler anymore.
well,
Because I would have lost my
if you're
ass on
Jordan
that.
Davis, you have to run that back. You have to run that back.
Oh
You
yeah.
never know when you're going to get a runway that clear with the ball in your hands again. And he ran a 4.78 at the combine, so he's got the speed to get there. So, like you said, 18.6 miles per hour, crazy game. But our friend Ben Solak and some others, they were lamenting that touchdown at the end.
Maybe a little tiny bit of action on it. Yeah, I mean, when you go against the Eagles and we talk about this, it's just like if they block it, or if the I'm sorry, go against the Rams defense, that if you block it up long enough, you can gash them, especially on the outside. And it felt like they were like it really did feel like the second half. Like at first, there's some AJ Brown targets that definitely felt like, all right, we're appeasing. All right, get the Philly fans off, or to get the mutants off our back.
Yeah,
I say that
get
lovingly,
AJ off our
by the way,
back.
Charles. Get AJ off our back. I also say mutants lovingly. It's a wrestling fan term for Philly fans. So, but no, it was just all these outside targets, and then some of them felt manufactured. But then it was just they spammed them at the end. It was 3rd and 10, 3rd and longs. They started working, and you realized, oh yeah, AJ Brown's like 230, and Emmanuel Forbes is what 155. It's a heavyweight going against a featherweight, and so just bully them. And that's, I mean, it wasn't just catch, tackle, get pushed out of bounds. It was like catch, run, big explosives. And going into today, they only had 2 explosives on the entire season. And then today they had 5 explosive passes. 38-yarder to AJ Brown, 33-yarder to Goddard, the touchdown, which I thought was a nice one. 16-yarder to Devontae Smith, 25-yarder to Devontae Brown, 23-yarder to AJ Brown. I said Devontae Brown, mix up the names. 25-yard to AJ Brown, sorry. And throwing out Hurts' first year as a starter, this was his 4th worst game in terms of success rate. So it wasn't like they were efficient, but this is what you and I talked about in the preview show. I feel like I've talked about it with Matt, talking about the Eagles offense. It's like they need explosive passes. That's the whole system. It doesn't matter how they get them. I know it's not the most idealistic way to get them, but you have this tank on the outside, and you have Slender Man, Devontae Smith, who's really, I mean, one of the better number 2s in the game, one of the best number 2s in the game. He could be a 1A, or I'm sorry, a 1B for some teams. And he just spam it. Just spam it. There's not a lot of teams that can match that corner play. So just run those stop routes, just run those go balls, and it'll work because it'll just pop. I mean, I thought the Rams in the whole first half, they had a great run game plan. They're hitting outside zone left and right, which is something I'm going to keep my eye on with the Eagles team, because this felt like the defense was getting picked on throughout this game. But I mean, they stepped up when they had to. They tightened the screws, and then I mean, they took advantage of the chances they had. And I thought the Eagles offense just did enough. This is all they had to do. I mean, the Rams had a better success rate, but those big plays matter. You got to score when you get into the red zone. You got to convert on maybe 4th and 1s, because I think they missed a 4th and 1 and 4th and 2. But yeah, it was just the Eagles pull it out. It just that one felt rough for the Rams, because it just really did feel like they felt like they controlled the whole game.
Yeah, just gotta close though, because when a team has that many good players, I mean, they can get back into it in a hurry like they did in the second half.
Yeah. I'll just finish with so the Rams finished with a 49% success rate. Eagles finished with a 37% success rate. Usually in 1-to-1 turnover ratio. So usually when you're seeing success rates like that, okay, what does it come down to? Explosives, situational ball, and the Eagles won in those terms. So moving on to high number 2, this was an afternoon game. It felt like the Bears offense was sitting on a performance like this. It really did, even though it doesn't feel that way because they got blown out of the water in week 2. Felt like they collapsed in week 1, or they did collapse in week 1. That was more defense influence. So Caleb Williams and the Bears offense particularly having a big day against the Cowboys, winning 31-14. I mean, I could just go left and right. Caleb Williams stats: had 298 passing yards, 4 touchdowns, over 10 yards of attempt. I missed my Hail Mary on Thursday by 2 yards. I predicted Caleb would go over 300. I'm not bitter about that whatsoever. You will not hear me talk about it 5 more times. What impressed you, though, about Caleb Williams today? I thought this was an excellent performance from him and just the entire offense.
Well, I think for him to be like as good as you and I expect him to be, and as good as we think he is already now, like you have to beat up the bad defenses. Like you have to kill them.
Yep.
And he did. Like that's what you want to see. What someone you think could be like a top flight quarterback do ultimately. And it was it was fun, man, because you know the one play that everyone's been like rewinding, of course, is the flea flicker where I don't know where DeAndre Swift thought he was. He said, look, he
it was
thought
an
he was
Ephus
like
pitch.
playing. Right, he thought he was like outside, like on Thanksgiving with his little cousins, like, oh, catch the ball, like no, like, and that ball is hanging up
200.
there. And then while it's live, I'm like, oh no, like someone's about to catch this and just run in for a touchdown, or Caleb's about to get trucked by some defensive lineman. And then he caught it and flat-footed, just beamed it like 60 yards down the field on a damn rope. And it got to the point where it was crazy because Luther Burden, he's running like he sees, like, obviously he's wide open, he's running, and then Luther realizes, oh, I have to speed up to catch this ball.
You see the arms start moving a little quicker?
Yeah. And that's crazy because the pitch was late and there wasn't a whole lot of room like for Caleb to step up. Like that was just pure arm talent.
That's it.
And man, like I just don't know how anyone can be down on someone who can do something like that. It's frankly unbelievable to me. But also today, you got a 0% sack rate for Caleb Williams, even though he's pressured on 31% of his dropbacks. So that's another big room of improvement. I mean, they were firing on offense. And even just like the pass to Cole Kmet for a touchdown, it was wide open, but just how fast he can get the ball onto guys is, man, just really incredible player. And I hope they can continue to stack like performances like this. Because like you said, they've kind of been sitting on something like this. Because even in the Vikings game in the first to open the season, like there were throws to be made. He just missed them. And then you watch him play today, and you obviously know that he can hit those plays. So it's just about the consistency because the talent's there. Man, just really good. Really, really good from Caleb today.
It was. And of course, the Cowboys defense caveats, nice mouthwash. But like you said, you got to do it. Like we can say like, oh, it's the bad offense or it's a bad defense or it's a good offense, good defense. But it's like still you got to like prove it. You want to feel good about your offense to beat up on bad defenses. So, but I thought it was what you said about not taking a sack. Like that's the thing that like I'm staring at. Like I think that's the harbinger of like this entire team is like the sack rate, because that shows that Caleb's getting the ball out, that they're blocking, that guys are getting open, guys are making plays, guys are winning within the structure of the play. So no sacks, and he only scrambled once. He had 2 design runs, which are really nice that they can sprinkle in. He has a good feel. He's got really good kind of running style. Like he really knows how to, because he can get to 20 miles an hour, but he can really set up blocks and then cut up field, which is really handy to have on the outside. I thought today, though, not only top of the sacks, but just thrown over the middle. And that's really what I've been staring at. Like, okay, if Ben Johnson can coax him to be comfortable throwing over the middle, like the sky's the limit, because he can truly make every throw and he can create. And I think he's better from structure than people think. And that's what we're seeing right now. The throw to Luther Burden before the half, right before that touchdown you talked about, Kmet, that entire drive from the Bears and from Caleb was like, yeah, this is kind of what I'm hoping to see. But he hit one to Luther Burden, and it was a high-low, a deep high-low. You had a 10-yard tie-down route, and then Burden's about 20 yards behind it. He was a little tight, it felt like. And Caleb throws it in between 2 guys, but it's on a rope. It's like a line drive. I thought it was a Soldier Field angle. Like that's why it was messed up on my eyes, but I rewatched it and I was just like, no, that was just an unbelievable rope that he threw 20 something yards in the air in between 3 guys, really 30 something yards in the air. And then I looked it up. This was the most throws he had intermediate in his entire career. Most throws he's had over the middle, or one of the most highest games that he's thrown over the middle. Most he's ever thrown deep over the middle, which is what I want to see. And then between the numbers today, he was 5 of 7, 93 yards, 3 first downs, a touchdown, 153.3 passer rating. It's like, that's nice. that's what you want to see out of this. That's why it's so exciting to watch. 50% dropback success rate, just a lot of good stuff from Caleb. Got to see more Kyle Monangai in there, which was, that's what I want to see too. The running game's a little still frustrating at times, but really good stuff from Caleb and the Bears offense. Any thoughts on the other side of the ball? Any thoughts on the Cowboys? I kind of felt like once CD got hurt, I kind of felt like they slept walk a little bit.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. They I don't know. They still have some nice moments. I think we just have Dak and Pickens. You're going to get some stuff done, but yeah, I just kind of felt like they were out of it once CD got hurt on the jet sweep. So I would imagine that's the last time we see CD do something like that this year. Yeah.
Turpin, get in there, buddy. I know. And they had like the Edmonds had a couple picks. I know the Cowboys' run game could still get going a little bit, but it's like, I mean, these were two not great defenses. Kind of came down to those turnovers. So, the Cowboys are a weird team this year. They just feel like they're a little toothless on defense to maybe make a run or anyway. But I do think the offense will be able to consistently put up points as long as CD's out there, because the CD Pickens kind of duo kind of helps make that thing go. Still, the Tyreek Stevenson fumble, forced fumble was one of the weirder plays I've seen in a while. that was a really,
I thought he was out of bounds,
play.
honestly.
I did too. Yeah, just everything happened so bang, bang, bang that like how definitive the ref was. I was like, you guys can't call anything.
Yeah.
They locked that call down. So, all right, we'll move on to high number 3. And this is a trio of 40 burgers that got served throughout the day. The Colts winning 41-20 against the Titans. The Vikings winning 48-10 in a Carson Wentz backup QB special. And Seahawks, I mean, absolutely just spanking the Saints 44-13. From opening snap, dominated that game. This trio of 40 burgers, Charles, which one intrigued you most? Which one had the biggest statement, or did you just kind of chuckled at all 3 of these?
I guess if I had to say which one had the biggest statement, probably the Colts, because like, oh man, like, okay, that's 3 games in a row now.
Keep on churning.
They keep on churning. The Jonathan Hill touchdown run was absolutely electric today.
Yes,
man. Daniel Jones had another good day. He took no sacks. He had 94.2 QBR. I know the Titans' offense has been terrible, but the Colts' defense stepped up today. Like, I guess we gotta take this somewhat seriously now if you're going to do it 3 games in a row. But I did find the game between the Bengals and the Vikings pretty funny, just because it was just so disorganized. 48-10. Isaiah Rodgers had a touchdown where he punched the ball out of Noah Fant's hand. Just an all-time game. He had 87-yard interception return, and then he had a 66-yard fumble recovery where he punched the ball out and recovered his own fumble and then returned 66 yards. Jake Browning was terrible. The Bengals were just awful. They couldn't do anything. But man, like, to see Carson Wentz come out there, and it's like his final stat line looks good, but I promise if you watch that game, that was not the Carson Wentz old. It did not feel good watching him play that game. Even he had a 34.9 QBR, even though he had 8.7 yards per attempt and 2 touchdowns, only 3 sacks. Like, just not playing efficient football in a manner that would get you wins if you had to play them long term. So we'll see what happens with the Vikings moving forward. But you had a funny like destruction game from the defense, and then Jordan Mason got going. So that's something to feel good about after how poorly last Sunday went for you against Atlanta.
Yeah, no, it actually seeing that run game that I was hoping to see getting out there. Again, Bengals are one of those teams that they're a mouthwash team. I think Christian Darrisaw played today, which is like huge for the Vikings to actually get a left tackle back. They're starting left tackle and a pretty good one. And so that's a big difference. That game was like morbid curiosity game for me. I peeked in and out just a couple times. I was just like, this is exactly what I was picturing. It's the Arrested Development game, looking into the bag and seeing the dead pigeon. Yeah, that's exactly it's a dead bird. That's exactly what I was expecting. Just total slot fest. But Isaiah Rodgers, nice game. I thought that was a really nice sign this offseason for the Vikings.
He's had a nice little bounce back since that gambling suspension. Got a Super Bowl ring, got 2 touchdowns today. I mean, things are looking up. Things are looking up for him.
Come on, shoeless Isaiah Rodgers. So shoeless Joe Jackson. That's what we called him. Yeah, he coming back. No, it's doing all right. No, it's no, I thought the Vikings, it was just like that's what you wanted their defense to do. I think Harrison Smith played a little bit, so having him back. I noticed they played a lot of 4 DBs base the last couple of weeks. I was going to study it a little bit, but this game doesn't feel like a really fun study to go back. Just feels like utter domination. No. Like you said, the Colts just keep on churning. The Titans defense isn't they're no slouches. Like, that's at least a league average defense to me. And I mean, and then of course the Cam Ward had the pick 6 early, which helps out. But again, I think they've been averaging under 5.5 yards to go on third down. 5.9 yards to go on third down today. And they only went when they get to third down. This is why it's so important to this team. They went 2 of 8, on third down. That's why it's so what's so impressive about what this Colts are doing is like they're just first and second down, just churning it, running the ball, throwing the ball, RPOs, drop back, boots. Different receivers are stepping up. Alec Pierce got hurt, but he had another dunk today. He is going to get so paid this offseason. He just keeps doing this. But then Pittman steps up, then Warren's doing his thing. Warren had a nice block on the Jonathan Taylor run. you wind up at fullback for them. So they're just doing some nice things, and their players are playing well. And then finally, Seahawks game, it was utter domination by the Seahawks defensive line. Whew.
Torrey Horton in the first quarter.
Yeah. They Torrey Horton punt return touchdown, another touchdown. Sam Darnold diced him up a little bit. JSN was running left and right at a deep ball to JSN. Yeah, but that Seahawks, man, their defense. When you're talking about making a bad unit look like a bad unit, it's like the Saints are interesting, but it's not a good unit. So yeah, that's what we're talking about with that Seahawks defense. Anything stand out from that game for you?
I turned it off in the first quarter after the Kenneth Walker touchdown that got to 21-0, because I was like, man, this is done. Like, there's no hope for the Saints coming back here. But even in that first quarter, like, they were just on a whole nother level from the Saints, which is, again, what you want to see from a team when you feel like there's a quality gap from this high. And like, basically from the first drive on, it was beat down time for Seattle. So I think they just continue to establish themselves as like a real deal NFC team, and we'll see if the offense can keep like stacking good performances to make them feel more like a true contender, because the defense is there. This is what good defenses do to bad offenses. They choke them out to submission, and hopefully the offense, like I said, can keep it going.
Yeah, the Seahawks offense had a 71 dropback success rate, 71%. So that's like, that's a great formula. All right, if you had to stack the NFC West right now, or rank them, or say who's the favorite, are you sticking with the Seahawks? Because we both had them as our NFC West pick. Are you still sticking with them right now?
Yeah, I mean, the Seahawks defense feels like the shortest unit in the division. So I think I'll go with that. Of like the 8 offenses defense, I think the Seahawks defense feels like the shortest bet of all those.
And I think the offense can be average-ish at the very least. So no, I'm sticking with them, but it's a competitive division. The 49ers squeaked out one against the Cardinals. Yeah, I know the Rams should have won that one, but still wide open. The 49ers are 3-0. They find a way. Doesn't matter if everybody gets hurt, they find a way. All right, we're flipping on over to the other side of highs and lows. This is low number 1, and this is something we refer to a little bit in those games. All the field goals blocked and misses and defensive scores. We had 13 total blocked or missed kicks today. Your Falcons' new kicker, whose last name is Romo, missed 2.
God,
Rams,
so
of course, had block and a miss late in the game. Bucks had that late block that they scared, a little scare against the Jets. They got a great celebration from Eric Glenn, but the Bucks pull off another one. Then another game we'll talk about, Browns and Packers had one. And of course, we just talked about the Isaiah Rodgers one. We had some other returns, just talked about the one with Cam Ward, some pick sixes left and right. Whew. Do you want to start with your Falcons?
Yeah.
You want
Man,
do you want like a one-liner on them?
That was terrible. I mean, I don't know what else to say. And, you know, it sucked. Like, that was one of those games from the first quarter. I'm pretty sure if we scroll back through like our chat thread, I probably put, this game's over at like 120 today, because you can just kind of feel when you watch a team with that kind of DNA that often, you know, just when it's over for them. Yeah. But like the Romo guy, I think his first name was like Parker Romo. He missed so bad on the first kick, and it wasn't even that far. He's on the right hash and just booted it like way wide right. I'm like, how do you, like, you weren't even close to like aiming it down the sticks. Like, I get it if you kick and you miss like across the front of the goal. Like, oh man, I bent it too far. But when you're on the right hash and you miss wide right, like how is that possible? But again, I'm trying to get better with my feelings towards kickers in general. So to see him miss 2 today, when he just replaced Koo, who was missing like 2 a week, it felt like. It's not good. It's not good. I really think we should do something about including them in the game as a whole. But yeah, maybe if he made one of those kicks, it would have at least 3 points instead of 0 and a 30-point loss to the Panthers. So that was really bad. All bad from top to bottom.
It was real bad. Against the Panthers too. It's like, you know, you kind of think you're at least. Yeah, he what did he finish with? 33% success rate. Just too many misses. That's the thing. It's like, that's what I was saying. I like him in the sense that he like makes some cool high end throws, but it's like, needs some consistency. Like, you know, especially if they drop back left and right, you know, every single time. And that was after the opening cup. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, no, I was gonna say I know Falcons fans are pissed off at Zach Robinson, but man, that there were plenty of throws to be made on that tape today that he just
Oh
missed,
yeah.
and it's game six, whatever. But that wasn't very encouraging. I would say when you're trying to figure out like what's next for the Falcons offense, because you just can't miss that many throws over and over and over again.
And this is what I was worried about is because the Panthers, they've had some O-line injuries, but like we talked about last year, you had talk about their run game actually being pretty good. And it's a much more burly run game than maybe what the Falcons have faced the last couple of weeks. And that was my thing. It was like I think the Falcons have more team speed on defense, but it was like I think the burly run games like the Bucks have and like the Panthers have are going to give them issues. And that's what it felt like today. It just felt like they just kept kind of popped in the mouth. Like they just couldn't get anything going. Of course, kind of the game flow helps with that. But I mean, 55% Zion rushing success rate. And that, I mean,
Crazy.
zero run. I mean, it just felt like one of those types of games where it was just like they couldn't control the sticks or stay ahead of the sticks at all on defense. They don't have the DBs, even though, Bryce Young's not like tearing it up. Got to see some more Tetero McMillan dunks, but it just felt like, again, like the Falcons kind of just like, they just don't have enough weight on defense. And that's like the only way I can describe it. Like it's just like when it has to, like, they really have to put their foot in the ground. They just don't have that, which is a little scary when they get into a game script like this. Because then it feels really like offense kind of go, why throw the ball? We'll just keep pounding the rock over and over because they can't stop it. So, yeah, on top of the offensive stuff, and then it's like, God, of course, this is the week I start Algier as like a flex in the league. And I'm like, come on. Thought they'd be able to run it a little bit on them.
Couldn't even get going. Couldn't even get going.
At all. I know, at all. Yeah, and then the Bucks game was funny. I got to rewatch that game. That game was really wonky. We had the Bucks O-line just have so many injuries right now. So hopefully getting Wirfs back soon. I mean, they just pull out another win. So, I mean, that they're a weird team to me right now because I'm just trying to gauge them. Their defense is kind of wonky in some ways. I know they controlled most of the game, but then the Jets kind of came back. So we're going to go on to low number 2 because this was another game with a blocked kick by Shelby Harris, guys, my former Wisconsin teammate for 1 year. Low number 2 is the Packers sputter, lose to a Browns team that does have a defense that makes every game a slog. They are the four corners team. They're just going to milk that shot clock and just grind you down the entire game. And they take advantage of a couple mistakes and win 13. The Browns win 13-10. The Packers lose a game that still blows my mind that they lost. But what'd you think about this one? This was an egg from the Packers.
Yeah, just like a fourth quarter collapse. Because honestly, man, this game was tough to watch for a few. Like I think what the Browns defense did today was awesome. But when when it was like both teams like going back and forth, just getting beat up by the other team's defenses, I was like, somebody make a play before I pull this off my TV and watch something that's got a little bit more speed to it. But like in the first over the first 3 quarters of the game, Browns offense, 38 plays, 118 yards, 3.5 yards per play, minus 0.33 EPA per play. I'm 24% success rate, 18% rushing success rate. I mean, that's what you expect a defense like the Packers to do to the Browns. And then I don't know, I still don't get what happened in the fourth quarter, but it kind of got away from them. Like they still only allowed 4.5 yards per play, but the success rate jumped up to 53.3%. And Cleveland was able to run the ball really well in the fourth quarter. So that's ultimately what helped them, get that win. And man, that's a bad loss for the Packers, because even though the Browns defense is good, you should still expect that offense to play a little bit better than that each week. And it felt like they were going to kind of maybe grit away a tough win against a bad team that you would like them to be a little more handy. And then they just, they couldn't get enough key plays at the end to win it. And, you end up losing to the Browns, who, I certainly didn't have this pegged as a win for them. In fact, I didn't even really think about this game that much going to the weekend because I thought the Packers would handle business against them like we've seen them handle business against the other teams they played this year. But that Browns defense is very much alive. And that defensive line is just like destroying units up front right now. Mason Graham's playing well. Myles Garrett's playing well. Shelby Harris is playing well. I mean, they gave Baltimore problems last week. They gave Green Bay problems this week. And it looks like that's going to be a headache for the rest of the season.
It was a big headache for the Packers. So like the thing about the Packers, so like first off, I'll talk about what you mentioned about the rushing with the Browns. That's like the one thing with the Packers defense. It's like, that's my one little thing in the back of my head. It's like, I haven't gotten that game script totally yet where a team can kind of just pounded on them and just go up the middle and just just mention with that with the Falcons. I think some of the spine of the Packers defense has that little bit where you can push them around a little bit. But man, Packers O-line, because they got banged up today and there was rotating. Zach Tom got hurt in like 2 plays, and just I think they played like 8 offensive linemen or something today. Yeah. I was looking it up. I was like, man, they're not pushing the ball. Jordan Love, like the things that make Jordan Love great, like his superpower is he pushes the ball like crazy and he doesn't take sacks. It's like that's what you want of like NFL quarterback play. You want explosives without taking explosives for the defense. And today he got sacked 5 times, which is the highest sack rate in his career, 16.1% today. He's only been sacked 5 times twice as a starter. He faced the second highest pressure rate of his career last week against Washington, only got sacked twice. Then he faced the 7th highest pressure rate today. Like you mentioned, it was the interior pressure that was giving them so much issues. Mason Graham, Shelby Harris, they got a whole bunch of quick pressures. So what happens when pressure happens, especially a guy like Love, because he's not going to run around and stuff, gets the ball out quick. So they're taking negatives that they usually don't take, big negative sacks, but then they're not getting the explosives because they're not pushing the ball down the field. They faced 19 third downs, went 10 for 19. They had a 33% success rate, which is the second lowest of Jordan Love's as a starter, the 5th lowest of the Matt LaFleur area. They had no explosive runs. I mean, this is just one thing after. Love only had 1 pass that traveled 10 or more air yards today, and that was the one to Golden when they were backed up. The fewest throws of 10 or more air yards in his career. He typically averages 10 a game, and he had 1 today. 35% of his attempts are usually 10 or more air yards. 4% today. They had 14 penalties. It was like, whew, it was just one of those days. I wish I have the quote in front of me, but Michael Parsons says, like, sometimes you just shit your pants. And it was like that. Yep. That's what they kind of did today. I'm sorry for swearing, Stone. I know we're live right now. But also the other thing too is they couldn't really beat man coverage. S the bed. Sorry. Yeah. They just felt like clamped down right now. Or today they did. And it was like, and then Love threw that last interception where he thought it was man coverage. Grant Delpit fooled him, bumped over. So he got fooled on that. I understood actually what he was looking at. I don't know what that was game plan thing or what. But man, that was a definite egg from the Packers, but still feel good about them as long as they get healthy. Like, oh yeah, they have a good formula working for them right now. I think Parsons had 8 pressures today. So he's still Micah Parsons. They still have a lot of guys. So yeah, but it was just one of those games, the NFL. All right. Low number 3, talking about, actually, it feels like this division has a lot of one of those games. The low is anyone that watched all of Texans Jags, because there was some sloppiness in this game. There's a little bright shining light for the Jags at the end of the game, which I'll talk about, but there's a lot of ugliness in this game. Jags win 17-10. The Texans fall to 0-3, which is crazy to think of considering their weight of their expectations going into the season. Did you turn this game off in the first quarter? Or what did you think of this one? Because this wasn't even like a rock fight. It was a pebble fight.
Yeah, this game was rotated a lot for me in and out because I kept trying to watch it. I'm like, man, like, am I really going to waste like an NFL Sunday just sitting here when I have access to literally every game that's on right now? So like I kept like pulling it in and out, and then like someone would say, "Oh my God, Travis Hunter," so I put it back on. And then I feel like every time I turned back on, nothing would happen for like long stretches of time. And then at the end, as the NFL, where they find their glory is you're legislated into fun at the end because every game is close. You can watch 55 minutes of slop, which there was a lot of slop in the first 55 minutes of this game. And then it turns out to be fun at the end. But man, both offenses get back to the drawing board for this one, because over the course of this game, like it was not pretty. And especially the Texans by the end of it just kind of feels like they have no real identity on offense. Maybe that's the offensive line woes. Maybe it's a new OC, but they really have got to get together and try to figure out what they can do here, because like at 0-3, your season is on life support, man. Because fans always say, "Oh, it's only 3 games, so early in the season." Well, yeah, but like you have to be perfect basically from here on out, and that's unlikely if you started 0-3. They had a 27% success rate today. The Texans did on offense, 12% rushing success rate. I mean, it's not good. It's not working. And honestly, I just don't see where like any relief is going to come, because as we talked about all offseason, this was their plan, like to put this group of offensive linemen together. Like they went out and signed these players before the draft. So this was their plan to build an offense from these guys, and it's just been brutal to watch so far. And it seems like this is probably what it's going to be all season for them.
That's the thing. Is like there's no reinforcements. There's no like ideas I'm seeing where I'm like, okay. The guy just missed, and if they did that, it's like I don't know. They have a very traditional offense. So it's not like I see, it's not like the Dolphins offense where the last couple of years where I was always like, they give up a lot of pressure on this stuff, but like they mitigate it by doing this, and that. Balls out quick, yada, yada. Like there's ways you can do that. Usually it's really good quarterback play or some really good designs. Like screen game's not there. There's no, Nick Chubb's doing his damnedest, but it's not like the great running back room as well to like kind of create a bunch of misses. Stroud's game is to like, he wants to sit there and dice you up. He doesn't want to be moving left and right. And you could feel him starting to get antsy at times. Like his clock's speeding up now. Right. And that's not like how you want any quarterback to operate as advanced as I think he is mentally. And so, Texans, both teams average under 5 yards per play. They combined 9 for 30 on third down, 4 turnovers. Texans had 34% success rate, 34.5. Jags had 34% success rate. Just like 1 out of 3 plays was good for the offense. And you're hoping for half and a good performance. The Jags on their side of the ball, some brutal drops. The receivers keep messing up where the line up, which is like, oh my God, how many different coaches have to come into Jacksonville and the receivers can't line up? I attribute some of that to, Travis Hunter being young, other guys too, maybe not being astute with their details. But then at the very end, just a beautiful, beautiful moment of execution from the Jags offense. And this is where I see this little glimmer of hope with this team. I do think Liam Cohen's got the goods, man. I think he's got some real good play design stuff. And like rewatching last week against the Bengals, and I know that's kind of routes on air. I was kind of like, yeah, they got some good stuff going here. Good timing on good kills and checks between plays. But it was a 46-yard Brian Thomas Jr. First play out of 2 minute. Do you know? I know you play defense, Charles. What's a big alert for offenses out of 2 minute? Like an open play, like any clock stoppage. Blitz.
Oh.
Blitz.
Yes.
Because you get the long play call and everyone can get into the huddle on the sideline and go like, hey, we got this, blah, 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 blah. And then defensive guys always call it like napalm, knife, dagger, like, slit your throat, cover zero.
We used to have aliens from movies as our blitz tags in 2 minutes. Yeah. So if your Predator was
like, which ones? Like Predator?
Predator. Yeah. And then sometimes we would tag like
Xenomorph.
We would tag like stunts, like we would say like ET, like, or we would say bike because he's riding the bike in the sky. Yeah, so that's end first tackle because you got the ET stunt. So
I actually like that one.
Yeah,
that's Gettysburg. Look at you guys. That was actually a good one. I like that.
I actually came up with that one myself, and my coach was like,
"Okay, well,
yeah."
I that's a good one. I like that a lot. My favorite kind of codename one was I was in high school and we were trying to come up with what to say on first sound. So we're trying, think of something with an F. And a kid goes, Phoenix, which is PH. And we were kind of like, and then we were like, that's sticking. Done. Phoenix. There it is. Don't even start with an F, but boom, that one's stuck in everyone's brain right then and there. But this last play, dude, it felt almost cathartic, I think, for the Jags and who was involved. It was to Brian Thomas Jr. It was over the middle. It was him a catch and run that he's running on an in breaker, a glance route, which is like an extended slant route. It's cover zero from the Texans. Trevor checks into it. Like, so you see they had some check because then he checks in and he moves the back. It was a full slide protection. They wadded up against cover zero, hits the glance route, just a classic cover zero, like protection beater and answer, like throw. It's a tough throw though. And just a perfect ball, catch and run, just like good vibes. All right, we watched. Who cares about the last week's things, all the alligator arms? Who cares about the drops and all that? Just finish. It's how you finish, and it was really cool to actually see that kind of happen. That moment kind of happened for those two guys, especially. Travis Hunter just had the one catch and run, which came on a slot choice route, which is like the Travis Hunter special that they'll probably run 100 times for him this season. But kind of cool to see a little catch and run for him. So sloppy game, but a little moment, glimmer of hope at the end of the game.
Yeah, the only, I guess not only concern I have about the Jaguars after this game. It's like, yeah, you got the win, but when I was looking through the stats after the game, they have 41% of their plays in this game gained 0 or fewer yards, which is, ooh boy. The Texans
Tough
were
way
at
to win.
34% for the game. Yeah, that's a tough way to win. Like you
That's
can
why it
really only
felt
win
like
that way
that.
against the Texans, you know?
Yeah. I'll go rock for you. I'll go rock for rock. Let's go. Like this is what we want. They just stand in the middle and just take a bunch of. It's like the Homer Simpson when he became a boxer. It was just like where only
Oh
reason
my
that
God.
he becomes a champ is because he could take punches. That's the Texans.
Yes,
They just take
yes.
punches for 60 minutes, just try and survive, and they don't. 0-3.
Nope.
But
It's not
yeah,
working there.
more. It's not working, but it's working over here. Football 301. How about that transition? We're closing it out today. I'll be back on Tuesday with Matt Harmon with more takeaways from week 3, which is plenty of takeaways from this game. A couple we didn't catch up on, but I'm sure I can't wait to talk about that with Matt. I'm Nate Tice. You can find me at Nate_Tice. That is Charles McDonald. Where can they find you, Chuck?
You find me on Blue Sky for Birds and at Yahoo Sports throughout the week.
Awesome. Yes. We also are together on Thursdays previewing the game. So you'll hear me and Chuck on Thursday previewing week 4. Make sure to subscribe to us. Follow us wherever you get your podcasts. Rate us pretty please. It would mean a lot to us. Or you can watch us on YouTube on the Yahoo Sports YouTube channel. We do these Sunday recap shows live, but you can also check out all of our other shows after we record them. So make sure to check that out as well. Thanks to Stone, Madison, and Austin behind the scenes for making us look and sound good. Thank you all for listening. Thank you all for joining us live. See you guys next time.